Hey guys, it's Adam again. Can you even hear me? You hear all that noise? It's coming from this wetland. You see the water right there? It's a really shallow pool of water. Could call it a swamp because we're in the middle of the woods. Two different kinds of animals calling. Do you know what it is? Two different frogs. Wood frogs, they sound like they're laughing. And then the real high-pitched spring peepers going beep, 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 beep. And they are just all over this swamp. Thousands and thousands and thousands of them. And if you go outside your door on a warm night and listen very carefully, you might be hearing some of these way off in the distance where somebody has taken care of a wetland and left it there for nature. So when you see these low-lying wet spots, they're really important for nature and they're really nice to have. Like the sound of that? There's a lot of them out here. All right, so that is our exploration of a swamp, of a wetland. Let me know if you guys can go out and hear some frogs in the evening. We filmed this video on a recent trip to Potawatomi Wildlife Park, which is a free open to the public park in Marshall County. So I would encourage you guys, if you're able, to go with your family on a nice sunny day and to get outside and explore nature. So I just want to thank Potawatomi Wildlife Park for keeping that park open for everyone. We also went and looked at frogs on the first night of spring. I went out with a scientist named Dr. Finkler from Indiana University, and we went out to catch some wood frogs, which we saw earlier. Now, he is doing research on the wood frogs, on how they can freeze and thaw in March outside and still survive. You know, you and I can't freeze and thaw as mammals, but somehow these frogs can. So we went out with nets and flashlights and tried to catch as many as we could. We got permission from the state of Indiana to do this. And let's listen to Dr. Finkler talk about how we identify which frogs are wood frogs and which are males and females. Can you tell me how to identify species in a wood frog then?
Well, the easiest way to do it, and it's hard to see because this one's so dark, but you actually, with the light on it, you can see it pretty well. The mask, the little racoon mask that it has.
So that means it's a...
well, that's the wood frog there. As far as the sex, I'm going to guess this is a male. They don't have the big inflated sacks that the peepers and chorus frogs would have, but they have these big muscular arms. And you see how the thumb looks really enlarged on that? Almost callous. That's what's called a nuptial pad. It allows the males to actually grab hold of the females and hold on to them when they're in the plexus.
I wanted to introduce you guys to a couple other frogs that we spotted while we were out there. The first one was the leopard frog. It's a pretty big one. We only found one, and you could tell it's a leopard frog because of the spots on it. And you'll probably see it out this summer hopping around. The second one is a real small one that's a cousin of the spring peeper called the chorus frog. It's got those stripes on it, and it's only about as big as your thumb. And then again, the spring peepers that we saw at Potawatomi Wildlife Park, they were everywhere when we went frogging this night. All right, I have a few more resources for you guys. The first book is The Icky Sticky Frog by Salina Yoon. The next one I recommend is another great one by Lionni called It's Mine, and you're going to love that one. And again by Kate Messner and Christopher Silas Neal, Over and Under the Pond. And the last one is Turtle Splash, Countdown at the Pond by Cathryn Falwell. And if you want to see, again, how to get those online real cheap or to get them at the Plymouth Library, go back to episode 2. At the end of my episode 2 on mice, I'll show you how to do that. Lastly, head over to Indiana DNR, have somebody search Get Up and Go Outside at the Indiana DNR, and there's all kinds of resources there for you, as well as Know Your Frog Calls at Indiana DNR, and you can practice learning and practicing all the frog calls of the frogs that we learned today, including other frogs and toads that are found in the state of Indiana. Thanks for joining us today, guys.